Second half of our high school soccer doubleheader here in Olivesburg pairs up the gentlemen here for match number 2. Crestview looking to get their first victory of the season in a tough test against Mid-Buckeye Conference rival Mansfield Christian. It's all on the way live and free right after this.
Dear moms and dads, we know it's not always been easy, and it's been a lot of hard work. What you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
Everything I do it for you.
Mom, love you all.
No, it's true. Everything I do it for you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Kissel's Lawncare. There's no job too big or too small for us to handle. With top-of-the-line equipment, we are guaranteed to complete your next landscaping job efficiently and professionally. A hard-working, dedicated team is what we take pride in, bringing to every job to make sure the results are the best they can be. So the next time you have a landscaping project that needs done, think smart and think Kissel.
Park National Bank treats your dreams like they're our own. It could be buying your first home together, or making a lasting impact in your community, starting a new business on your old stomping grounds, or reimagining your current one to keep up with the times. No matter your financial goals, at Park National Bank, what means a lot to you means a lot to us.
I know that I'm not Park's biggest customer, but I'm treated just like I'm Park's biggest customer.
Welcome back to beautiful Scott Bailey Memorial Field. I am Brian Skowronski, and I've got a special guest with me here to start off the program. We've got the MVP of the ladies match. Abby Little is joining me right here and now. Take me through that one, Abby, because it's 0-0 at the half. You guys had 20 shots, I think, in the first half, and you kept putting shots at least in the vicinity of the goal, but things weren't really going your way kind of until the end. What was the mood and the atmosphere like out on the field as more time was going by and you guys were still stuck on that 0?
Oh my goodness, the mood was so heightened. It was a lot of intensity. We were kind of panicking. We had to find our composure and just kind of play how we play. I knew that we needed to get a goal first, otherwise we have a tendency to shut down a little bit, so I knew that we needed to get a goal. So we tried our hardest to get the goal first.
And you were able to do that unassisted at the 18:35 mark to make it 1-0. And then how about that rocket shot by McClenathan coming back the other way to square things up? How did the match then kind of change from there? Because you didn't take very long to answer back.
Oh my goodness, it was like, again, I was like afraid that we were going to die down again, and we needed to keep momentum. So I wanted to keep our pep up. So I worked with my team, and I was like, all right, it's buckle time. Let's go.
You're able to come through with the clutch goal for the winner at the 7:36 mark. So a big win for you girls as you get above 500 on the season. And more importantly, you get that victory over Crestview. You guys have been going back and forth ever since you've been in high school here in the NBC. So did it feel like this was a key victory for you and your squad to kind of get Crestview out of the picture, at least here early on, for the regular season title?
Yeah, for sure it did. We really needed to get this win under our belt. We've been going through some hard losses recently, and we just needed to bump up a little bit of some confidence and just kind of regain our balance and know how we play again.
And since we've got the boys match going on here now, Mansfield Christian, the gentlemen, of course, they've got some state championships, one of the most storied programs, if not the best one all time in Richland County. Had a couple of down years, but now it feels like they're resurging a little bit. What have you seen from the boys out here so far this season and what they're kind of bringing to the table where it feels like Mansfield Christian boys soccer is back again?
I think that they have really good transitioning. I was just telling my teammates that they have a great way to pass it back and use their keeper as well as use overlapping runs with their outside mids and defense just to incorporate everybody on the team, and they can all play anywhere, so they're very versatile.
Well, Abby, we really appreciate you for giving us the time up here in the box, and I imagine that there's a special shout-out that you'd like to give. Your mother not able to be here tonight, and we're wishing her well. If you don't mind just quickly saying what's up to your mom and, just letting the people know that they can send some prayers out her way.
Yeah. Hi, Mom. I really miss you. You're doing really good, and I'm very proud of you. Everybody's cheering you on, especially me. Love you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Abby Little, our Kissel Lawncare MVP from the girls' match, and helping us break it down. You'd probably be a fine color commentator, too. Is that anything that you've ever given thought to that you would want to try in the future?
No, not really. I'm really scared of it.
All right, well, we're going to keep you on, Abby. I'm going to give you 2 minutes here, and we'll let you off the hook here at the 33:30 mark. So, I'll kind of set up some plays, and you break them down for me. Sound good?
All right.
Okay.
I can do that.
So here's Crestview looking to get on the attack. They've really had trouble scoring so far this season. This one's going to leak out to Callahan. Big touch, looking for the cross. And off the pressure, it's going to go out of bounds goal kick here. Good looking play from Tristan Johnson. Just kind of shut down the scoring attack here for the Cougars.
It's weird to see him back there. He's usually up top.
I think it's a bit of an unusual lineup. A couple kids not going to be playing for MC. Isaac McFadden, a day out of rest. Luke Zerby, I'm told, not in action again here tonight. So what are your thoughts on players at the high school level as we get a big collision here, sitting out like they're NBA stars with a day of rest?
Oh, I don't know. I think anybody should have rest. High school is really stressful, especially with sports and school. I know that they're pretty tough out there, the ones that are on the bench, and I'm sure it is something serious.
So off the restart, big kick, first touch by Crestview. Flames now looking to attack from the midfield. Deep ball into the corner on the wing. Big charging rung, back post, and it was just off target. Somehow good speed to keep it in bounds. Definitely thought that was going to go over the touchline. But good looking execution by Mansfield Christian there on that last play, Abby.
Yeah, Everett's really good with getting the ball down and using his speed to like get the perfect cross off. Here he goes again.
Oh, makes an excellent move around 2 defenders, puts it up in the box. At least for now, the Cougars out of harm's way, and they will clear here on the near sideline. So, Abby, there you are. You're 2 minutes in the books. You're officially part of the OH Report team. Appreciate the time joining us. And, again, thoughts and prayers to your mom.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully she gets better soon. I will go ahead and pass off the headset here to G-Man, who's going to inherit some nice sweaty headphones, but I'm sure some of that perspiration probably from your own ears.
Yeah, it's probably still from me, so
I'll
be okay.
You should have said sorry to Abby. Oh, man, I might have to close this door. This light. Are we allowed? Oh, I forgot I was on air there for a second.
There we go.
That's a little better. All right, we can see the match again. Looks like 7.5 minutes gone here. And Crestview, from what I've seen, putting up a pretty good fight. They've been able to get a couple nice possessions going towards net. And Mansfield Christian, without a couple of the studs that we're used to seeing in the lineup, it probably is going to be an adjustment period. Like Abby said, it's just kind of weird to see certain players like Tristan Johnson playing. I mean, he's basically, it looks like he's playing the middle defender role when typically you see a guy like him playing up. So this is a game for Mansfield Christian. I guess you can go ahead and say against an outmatched opponent. You know, playing is just their second season. They're going to try some unique things here tonight, G.
Yeah, Crestview, the program started last season, opened up boys soccer again for guys to come out and play. And obviously there's going to be some growing pains with that. You got to build a team from the ground up. You got to get the commitment from the guys that come out and play and be dedicated and come to practice and show up to all the extracurricular activity and stuff. But just they're building that, that Crestview soccer team. And right now, Mansfield Christian, that they like to rest some guys and play some of the guys that you don't typically see out here for some varsity action and get those other guys some rest. So it is going to be a little bit of adjustment period. Some guys are playing out of position. Sometimes the plays that you're used to feeling with the same kind of chemistry, it's going to be a little bit off tonight. And they feel that they have a good opportunity here to come into Crestview, a team that they feel that they can overpower and win this one. So I guess it's going to be a good barometer, I think, for both squads.
Certainly the Cougars, if anything, they would just love to taste that thrilling taste of a goal if they can get one here. Just 2 so far on the season through 5 matches. So only averaging 0.4 per game, giving up 5.8. And for Mansfield Christian, this is a team that, even though they've got some great dynamic playmakers, they've truly been a defensive juggernaut, giving up way less than 1 goal per contest, and their only losses so far to D3 ranked Worthington Christian 0-1, and then they lost to number 15 Berlin Highland 0-2. Other than that, it's been 3 shutouts for their defense, and they really have played some great soccer against some really good teams.
Yeah, you mentioned the game we were out at, Brian. They played really good against Clear Fork. They were able to set up their teammates, and we saw Isaac McFadden in that game. He had 2 goals off 2 headers, too, and this one will be a goal. And that one's going to come from number 8, I believe, Grady Baker. It's a great pass, tremendous setup, and he makes it splash for the first goal of the night.
So right on cue, the offense delivered here on the Maumee Bay Turf Center replay. And that's just unselfish soccer and a beautiful one-timer. He put the foot right where he needed to be, and he got it to carry him up into the corner where the keeper couldn't get there.
It's not here where things could get ugly for Crestview. If you put your head down and not able to recover from this 1-0 deficit. I know Mansfield Christian, they're smelling blood in the water. They want to come out here and try to get as many goals as quickly as they can, and then just kind of ride the wave out and try to get a big win here. But Crestview, I'm sure, not going to try to back down. Going to show all they got and try to get some goals here. Only 2 on the season. They only had the 2 against Willard. So they don't get to taste that feeling too often here in Cougars country.
Did hear from Coach Pond and also Tim Kuhn that they were able to score victories over the junior varsity club over at Ontario, which is an established program, one of the best that we have here in Richland County. So games like that, I'm sure, are important. When you're first getting a program together, it doesn't matter that you're playing against somebody else's junior varsity, and you also look at the school differential in terms of size with a D2 program going up against a D3. So whatever you need to do to get those stepping stones moving forward for your program, I like that they were able to do that. But man, playing against some of the full varsity rosters, you would just love not to see the goose eggs in the scoring column for Crestview. But so far from what we've seen, it looks like they're at least creating some chances on the season.
Yeah, they've had a couple here today, a couple of runouts, but just nothing that they've really been able to build off of. And you said it, Brian. The teams that they've played have really put it to them. The varsity clubs like, Medina Buckeye wasn't able to score there. They lost 0-9, and Mansfield Senior 0-6, Lonville 0-4. So it's a big goose egg, and it's a big it hurts your demeanor, coming out off the field, and at least not even talk about just competing, just being able to get some goals and get some confidence in these guys, because I know it's got to be hard, start a new program and trying to get guys out and trying to be dedicated at your craft, and sometimes you got to get through the growing pains, and right now that's exactly what Crestview's trying to do.
Cougars defending well here in the opening 12 minutes. Really only one shot of relevance so far for Mansfield Christian, but they did bury it. Great effort. Almost led to another goal there, and it would have been Grady Baker with his second.
What a setup here.
Look at the acceleration. You don't even see Max Hoovler in your screen, then all of a sudden he's there and puts it in a place where it had to go through the keeper's mitts. Incredible.
Tremendous setup right there from Hoovler. Somehow turning on the turbo boosters there just to get a foot on it and cross it. Grady Baker not able to head that one in, but so far the Flames looking pretty good without a couple of their guys out there, Brian.
Here's Weston Neal going with the nutmeg right through the 5-hole there of Carter Galloway. That was Shinsky. Going to throw it down deep into the corner. 2 Cougars are there. And one thing that's unfortunate about not having Luke Zerby into the mix for Mansfield Christian is he has the biggest, best throw that I've ever seen, I think, in high school soccer. And, that's a weapon where you almost have a set piece anytime you're 25 yards and in off the throw-in.
It almost feels like a corner kick in some aspects. And without him on the field, it's going to be a little bit of adjustment. Some of those throw-ins, they might not be making it all the way to the box like they do with Mr. Zerby.
Make sure that you have your voice heard. Drop us comments on the Facebook and YouTube, and you can get in the game or go hashtag FanZone on the Twitter, and we will feature your comments right here on the broadcast. That shot skips right into the hands of the keeper. Well played by Ty Callahan. And that one bent pretty well by Wyszynski.
Kind of feel like I'm getting kind of old, Brian. Some of these kids on the Crestview roster actually coached a basketball team. Storm and I did, but here's an opportunity here for Mansfield Christian, and good defense from the Cougars. Can't tell who that is.
Looked like Tyler Holloway coming over to help make the stop, and Martin Everett probably waiting about 2 touches too long before he unleashed that one. But it will set up a throw-in here for MC, and we'll see if they do have a kick. Well, that's another pretty good-looking throw. So it must be something that they're practicing.
Ooh.
Oh! That one just drilled, but an excellent save. Diving by Callahan.
Now Mansfield Christian getting plethora of opportunities. That one's going to deflect off a Crestview defender. And good looks, too. This is a great shot.
Well, and actually, that's Luke Zerby who's into the mix. That's why we saw that throw and go in like a corner kick. We didn't think he was going to be available for tonight.
But as I was mentioning, Brian, before a couple of those shots, I feel like I'm getting kind of old now. Some of these kids for the Crestview roster, Storm and I actually coached a basketball team. I remember Carter Galloway and Caden Dickerson, and unfortunately we didn't win a game.
Ooh.
But we had a great tournament showing, and a good story for about Caden Dickerson is we were down a point, I believe. Or no, maybe we were up a point, and we got a steal, Caden did, and he scored on the other team's basket, and we ended up losing. It was the first seed, too, that we were playing because we were the last seed. So we were going to upset them, but not able to pull it off, were we?
I'm sure Caden loves you telling that story, and that's probably a memory that haunts him to this day. Cold sweats every now and again.
Treated that like I was running an NBA franchise. Me and Storm would show up to the games in full suits, and you know us, Brian. We're not big dress-up guys. We were in full suits. It was an awesome experience.
If only I could get the same treatment at OH report as, what was that, 5th, 6th grade?
That would have been I was probably a freshman. My freshman, 9th, 10th grade year.
I've been hearing rumors that perhaps we'll get some dressy outfits on the Friday Night Pigskin at some point this year. So I'll see if we get a full
Mine have been
three-piece.
getting a little bit better. I've had a couple different looks. I had the jeans and then the little 2-button shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had the jeans and the nice little hoodie. I feel like I'm Kirk Cousins. My swag is anti-swag, so not having swag for me is my swag. I can't pull off like a button-up shirt. I feel like it's just not me. I feel like I have a hard time fitting in one.
I guess they're not made for everybody, perhaps. I think you could probably pull off the look. Crestview looking to pull off a shot here. I like the urgency. As soon as that ball started getting closer to the 18, you see the midfielders. They're all coming up. They can smell the blood in the water. So these Cougars, at least, they've got a nose for the net. But Mansfield Christian did a pretty excellent job of defending and draw the foul right here. That's a 5th already on Crestview in this first half. But they play a little bit of the tackle football here at Crestview. Just runs in the whole culture, as you can see. That's a pretty nice stick.
Maybe he was over at the football practice before he came in and played this one, Brian.
Yeah, Coach Haverdill having him work out at maybe safety or something. There's another nice clean delivery. Aerial attack by Everett Smith. And it's a pretty young Crestview team. I mean, just 2 seniors, I think, that are on the roster here. So just about everybody who's out here competing for the Cougars tonight going to be back for at least one more season, and a lot of them 2 and 3. So the foundation for the program certainly is built. And these kids, they're at least, man, they're competing very hard here in the early going.
Yeah, there's no question with effort here. As Mansfield Christian, they'll line up a shot. That'll be headed out of there from Crestview. And a little bicycle kick action we got.
Referee's going to stop it for a dangerous play. Have to see on the replay how close he actually was to another player. It was such good execution, I probably would have let it slide because he went down to his back. Definitely mad props for trying one.
Why not let it fly? Why not let it fly?
I think certainly universally considered about the coolest way to score if you can in the game of soccer. Ball flicked forward off the head that time, but to the defense. MC will stick with it, though. As Mansfield Christian getting in a quick sub in the midfield. It's going to be Connor Luce. Callahan allows it to take a couple hops, comes in, scoops it up, ends the threat. As we're past the midway point here in this opening half. Cougars looking for their first shot so far of the contest. But as we saw in the ladies' match, you don't need a lot of opportunities to keep it close. I mean, it was a 0-0 game for a long time. Crestview had an equalizer. They were tied with just 8 minutes to go, and they only had 4 shots in the whole game.
That game was kind of different. I mean, that was one of the weirdest soccer games that I've kind of seen, where Mansfield Christian had so many shots on goal, and so many shots just in general, and with only 2 to be able to score. And Abby Little had to go down really on an ISO play by herself to really take the lead there. But Crestview somehow stayed in that game with only about 5 shots, and only one of them falling in. As this one looks like it could be something, but
actually pretty awesome placement there by Trent Weaver. Just elected to kick it out of bounds. It's going to be a long throw-in from the corner coming up for the Flames. Don't believe that Zerby is on the field right now. Oh. Yes, he is. So, never mind. It's basically just a corner kick, folks. This dude is amazing.
I mean, wow.
That was back post and everything. Wyszynski drills one off the upright. 6th shot here of the opening half for Mansfield Christian.
And how far of a throw do you think that is from?
It's a good 30-yard throw. And I do want to go out to practice, or at least in a pregame. Maybe at the next Mansfield Christian home match, we'll go out for pregame, and we'll just mark it off. We'll see exactly how far Zerby can throw it. We'll give him 3 tries. And I'll tell you this, I don't think we'll find another player in the area that we cover. We'll give everybody a chance if they want to try to throw it farther.
He's definitely by far the farthest that I've seen so far this season, and I don't really even think it's been close.
Almost makes me want to get out there and try it. See how far
I do too. I'm kind of curious how far I can throw it too, because it's a lot different than throwing like a football, obviously.
Nice job stepping up there that time by Smith. The athletic director here at Crestview, bringing up the G-Man project. So you've got a fan out there, G.
I love that. I love hearing my fans, baby. So throwing me an idea, might have to go off and run with it. And if actually the new episode just dropped too before the game started here today. I believe I got dropped around 4 o'clock. So if you want to go watch me chop it up with Mr. Jake Furr, the Mansfield News Journal, talk about some local sports and some pro sports. The NFL happens tonight. Talk about some Browns. Go check it out. I appreciate all the viewership I can get.
Here's Zerby on the run, crushes it. 2-0 MC.
Made it look too easy right there to Zerby. He can also not only throw it, 30 yards, he can make a nice, massive kick right here with some high velocity too. A nice setup from his teammate. A little bit of just, don't think he was even trying to pass right there, but the defender from Crestview kind of forced him to, and Zerby able to capitalize, find the open hole, and make this a 2-0 game in favor of the Flames.
So Baker and Zerby responsible for the first 2 scores of the match. Crestview now definitely in need of some type of an answer. Certainly one goal for them would be so big, G, even if it doesn't come in this first half and doesn't trim the deficit down. I think just getting in that scoring column is going to be a big bonus for the Cougars tonight, who they haven't had a shot up to this point in the match. They've had some nice build-ups. Just need to pop off on one or two of those occasions, get a clean look.
Just something to build off of, because it's kind of hard to, go in and watch film and not able to score in the couple previous games, and only had the 2 against Willard and then the few they had against Ontario in that win. But it's just hard to build off something when you don't have a goose egg on the scoreboard. So for Crestview, just to get maybe one on goal, as this one is going to be fired from Alex Mayer. That one's going to fly over the goal there, but getting a goal here tonight, or maybe a few for the Cougars, would be big for a big confidence boost heading the rest of the season.
They've done a pretty decent job of defending so far, at least making it challenging on Mansfield Christian, with the exception of Zerbe's, where he was just kind of right place, right time, ball squirted out in front of him, and he was able to connect. But now the latest goal for Crestview is, can they start moving it into the attacking third, or at least keep the ball down here on Mansfield Christian's end? Try to make the Flames have to play some defense.
I think for Crestview, they can kind of have the mentality and that kind of play style of, we have nothing to lose here. Let's take as many shots as we can. As they're going to get one right here. As this one, however, will be saved from the keeper, but take as many shots as you want, man. Take as many shots as you can. Just try to get something on the board to get some confidence in these guys. Because so far this season hasn't been a lot to hang your hat on if you're a Crestview fan.
Jace Hill, who had the first shot there for Crestview, does have a goal on the season. Both him and Everett Smith were responsible for the 2 goals in that 3-2 loss against Willard earlier in the campaign. Nice quick ball to the outside, and a huge collision. Didn't draw a whistle, so Johnson sticks with it. But it gets poked away. And basically, here's a 2-on-1 for the Cougars. Now 3-on-1. I think that's an excellent ball right into the middle of the field. Flames trying to recover, but instead it's going to be Majors coming away with it. Cougars all around the perimeter, and Mansfield Christian wisely just allows their keeper to come up and make the play.
I think Jace Hill just overran it right there. He had an opportunity, but just ball got deflected by a Flame. He wasn't able to stay on track of it, as Mansfield Christian able to shut down a really good attempt from Crestview there to get on the board.
Cougars may have another look here. Good ball out to the corner. Again, Tyler makes a run for it, but it's out of bounds. MC gonna make a quick swap out in the midfield, as Grady Baker will sit down. Here's Cale Everode. Deep throw, far side. Last line of defense there for Crestview. It's going to be a Cougar throw-in right in front of the bench. Eichelberger's going to get another shot at it. About 15 yards closer now. Looked like he kind of just stared down, though, his intended target, as the Flames are able to clear. I don't think I've ever heard such a big applause for just knocking it out of bounds here. But Trent Weaver standing O for that one. Let's go.
It's a lot about, the stepping stones here for Crestview, Brian. Just throughout each game, getting better and better and continuing to try to be the best that they can.
diving save. It's going to go out of bounds and set up a corner kick opportunity here for Mansfield Christian off the shot from Davis Wyszynski.
Close call right there. Goalkeeper really didn't get much on it. Just enough, though, to make it astray and fall off target.
Hoovler to get it back in play. Line drive near post, leaks through. Good ball in space in front here for Holloway. Closing in on 9 minutes to go here in this opening half. Second part of a doubleheader tonight. If you missed the ladies matchup live and free here on the OH Report, Mansfield Christian snuck out a 2-1 victory. Abby Little with both goals for Mansfield Christian, including a clutch one, the game winner, with 7.5 minutes to play. Johnson with the speed to keep it in bounds, but it's a turnover. And given right back there by the Cougars as Devin Holloway tried to shake free around one of the defenders. And just a reminder that we do have some live and free game action going down on the volleyball floor. Northmore Lady Knights in the second set. A winner in the first, on top 5-1 here over Danville, too.
Didn't really know much about volleyball, Brian, this year. You know, started calling some games, started learning some stuff. Me and Storm are having a hard time. I want to ask you, I don't know if you know this or not, but me and Storm are having a very hard time deciphering. Travis loves this, the yummy ball.
Yes.
Do you know what the yummy ball is?
I have my own interpretation.
Okay.
And what my interpretation is whenever Mackenzie says it's a yummy ball, I take her word for it.
Okay. Because the definition that we got in the Facebook comments was when the player, when it goes over when the defender has an opportunity to spike it, and something about an overpass happens, but it gives the offensive player the opportunity for a yummy ball to eat that up.
Yeah, so I think that I can shed maybe a little bit of knowledge on this one. So an overpass is just too far of a pass for your offensive player to get like a good spike at it. So you're giving them not that hard of a shot over. And so the yummy ball would be one that's kind of just laying out there, you know, kind of a softball right at the top of the net that you would go up and knock straight down.
There were so many of those then. Now I got the definition. So now I'm kind of excited to call my next volleyball match.
It is a cool term, too. One of my favorites in sports. Since I learned that last season, I definitely get lots of food references in with that yummy ball. They just go hand in hand, of course.
I'm trying to remember a couple more that were chicken wing, which I think.
I don't know the chicken wing yet.
I think it's just when you have to hit it with your arm, just fling it out there to try to get it over the net. I have the 6-pack was one where you get spiked and it hits you in the face.
Right in the face, okay.
So. There's some terminology that I'm still learning as we go throughout this journey.
And now certainly for me, and it's been a couple of weeks because Jesse Ryder coaches like 35 youth programs. He doesn't get a chance to jump on the broadcast with me, but he definitely, there's a few key terms and nuggets of information that I'm not privy to because I don't watch Premier League or professional soccer. So there's a lot of terms that I feel like I definitely need to evolve into my lineup here with my commentary that I promise folks we'll get better as the season drags along here and try to get more in touch with our soccer knowledge. I think maybe if we just talk in English accents, we'll at least trick everybody into thinking we know what we're talking about.
I've been in the same boat you are with that one, Brian. Just kind of learning volleyball and soccer here on the go. Kind of got the basics of playing FIFA when I was younger, but still advancing my knowledge here. Is Crestview, good defensive play there. Getting the steal was Carter Galloway.
think they've done a nice job tonight on the back line where Mansfield Christian, they've been able to deliver the ball into the attacking third, but as far as that last pass or getting a clean shot on net, of their 9 shots, 6 of them on frame, 4 saves up to this point. I think Crestview has defended pretty decently well against a Mansfield Christian squad that now that we know Zerby's in the lineup, I mean, they're only missing Isaac McFadden tonight out for some rest. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Abby Little is shedding some light on. She said, hey, I think it's great. High school's hard. You know, it's tough to get through the day, the homework and everything. So she agrees with rest. I'm just curious. I'd like to talk to Isaac and see if Coach told you could play tonight, don't you want to?
I think I know his answer to that one. I think he would have said yeah.
Yeah.
I think he would have choose this one to play, but Coach, nonetheless, not giving him the opportunity. Is tremendous corner kick here and score for Cale Overroad.
Beautiful setup and kind of a karate kick. It looked like he developed this one perhaps in Taekwondo class, as this is just a beautiful set piece. Nobody clears it, and he comes flying into your screen. Like I said, it almost looked like something that you would see off of a video game, a flying kick, except for a soccer ball ending in the back of the net.
And now here for Crestview, this is where things could get ugly. You don't want to really give up here. Down 3-0 with Mansfield Christian because they could get 4, 5, 6 goals here. Want to continue to try to fight back into this game because lead isn't insurmountable, but for Crestview, it'll take an uphill battle to get back into this one.
Cougars looking to apply some high pressure here. Nice turnover, but then Wyszynski steps to very strong tackle to get possession back for the Flames. Clearly a handball.
Yeah.
Cole Eichelberger not trying to hide it.
Maybe should have just tried to hide that one a couple more seconds. He immediately went to shaking his hand, kind of giving it away.
So again, a newer program. You'll learn the ins and outs as the years go on. Flames moving the ball back and now here to the near side. Heavy touch that time, too far for Anthony Smith. Zerby, such a physical player, uses his body so well. And the referee's going to stop the play dead, so that it should have been out for a Mansfield Christian throw-in. Certainly looked like Anthony Smith was able to get there on time. Toss down to the corner. Crestview gets the first touch on it. And now just the second foul against MC. It's going to set the Cougars up with a free kick as we're nearing the 2-minute warning here of half number 1. Make sure that you keep it with us at the half. We'll have some statistics, break down a little bit of analysis, and probably talk about what's going down tomorrow night. All of our football coverage that we're going to have. Get you guys in tune for another beautiful Friday night of American football on the OH Report.
It's getting a little chilly out, right?
That's how you know the fall season is officially kicking in. Once that sun drops,
you know, a little bit of a hoodie.
Becomes hoodie weather.
Yeah.
No question. Nice patience drawn in the defense. The leave off here from Majors gets poked away. Trying to make a move, but Wyszynski, he's just so active back there. Like a little gnat on each little piece of fruit. Flying all over the place back and forth and Eventually, it's going to be a foul, number 7 against the Cougars in this first half.
Curious, maybe it's Mansfield Christian there here in the second half. Rest even some more guys. Maybe take Zerby out. Probably comfortable with this 3-0 lead. I'm sure they'll try to still be on the attack. But the same time, save some guys, save some rest.
Well, it certainly looks like that's the game plan for Coach Stephen Armstrong. He's got a dozen guys on the bench here tonight, so they can fully platoon. As Wyszynski drives this one into the box. Header flicked on, but it's going to be wide. Nice setup there to the dome of Baker. But that is going to take us to the end of the first half with Mansfield Christian on top. 3-0 here on the road at Crestview in a Mid-Buckeye Conference battle. Stay with us. The Sutton Bank halftime's on the way right after this.
I love you.
Kissel's Lawncare. There's no job too big or too small for us to handle. With top-of-the-line equipment, we are guaranteed to complete your next landscaping job efficiently and professionally. A hard-working, dedicated team is what we take pride in, bringing to every job to make sure the results are the best they can be. So the next time you have a landscaping project that needs done, think smart and think Kissel.
Park National Bank treats your dreams like they're our own. It could be buying your first home together, or making a lasting impact in your community, starting a new business on your old stomping grounds, or reimagining your current one to keep up with the times. No matter your financial goals, at Park National Bank, what means a lot to you means a lot to us.
I know that I'm not Park's biggest customer, but I'm treated just like I'm Park's biggest customer.
What's up, America? Brian Skowronski here, and if you want to see me and the gang chop it up with some unintelligent conversation, we've got the show for you. Check out the OH Report video podcast every Monday, exclusively right here on the OH Report.
It's halftime here in Olivesburg. The sun's starting to go down. It's a cool late summer night, and right now it's a cool 3-0 advantage for Mansfield Christian over Crestview. Brian Skowronski with you, along with Garret Parlett, and this is the Sutton Bank halftime. Let's take a look at the statistical evidence of what we've seen so far through 40 minutes of action, and as you would suspect, a lot of the numbers in favor here of Mansfield Christian. Crestview putting up a good fight. I really like the edge that they're bringing to the field, and when they've had some rare opportunities, definitely some kids they're going after it hard. Just the Flames, they got a few kids that have grown up with soccer, and it just looks like kind of that's the difference right now. It's just a few more soccer players over here on MC's side.
You can't question Crestview's effort here tonight. They've shown out, trying their hardest. They're giving great effort and being very physical too. I love the physicality from Crestview here. Being physical at the point of attack and trying to rip the ball away for some of these Mansfield Christian Flames. But as you can see, Mansfield Christian's just got a little bit more experience. They've been doing this a little bit longer. They kind of know what to expect. They're resting a couple guys tonight, but they've had guys step in and fill up some shoes. Grady Baker had a goal here tonight, and just I think Crestview, the growing pains are showing here at the halftime break. But Mansfield Christian, I think a team that one of the better teams in the area too. So a little overmatched here tonight with the Cougs.
Yeah, I think it's a resurgent Mansfield Christian program. 21 last year, 9 wins for them after just 5 posted in 2020. And before that, it was 3 straight losing seasons for MC. So I certainly feel like they've turned the corner, and you can tell with their schedule and who that they're challenging themselves against this season that they also, under Coach Stephen Armstrong, feel like they've got the ponies now to go out there and really compete. And defensively, G-Man, is where they've been solid all year, and I think that's, even though Crestview has struggled to score so far this season, it's kind of strength versus, the part of your game that is not so strong with Crestview, and that's been a big difference so far in this match with just the one scoring opportunity presented by the Cougars.
And Crestview's had a couple chances, there's just not a lot of shots. They've had a couple times where they've had breakaways, but Jace Hill had a great opportunity. He just kind of overran the pass and just wasn't able to make the most of the opportunity here for the Cougars, and that's just why they're not being able to hang with the Mansfield Christian Flames here tonight. It's been a dominant showing, you could say, but Crestview's at least been able to hold tough, and they've been able to at least challenge Crestview here tonight, Mansfield Christian here tonight. But it's going to be an uphill battle here in the second half if they want any chance to come back and even tie this game.
Take a look at some of the top highlights from that first half. You saw the goal from Grady Baker, perfectly timed up for the one-timer. That gave Mansfield Christian a 1-0 advantage. Off the corner kick, that one going to the back from Everode would make it 3-0. The latest goal coming just 4:17 before the break. So Mansfield Christian, those 2 goals. Luke Zerby also got one at the 15:32 mark. It's just a pretty solid club this year. As you said, probably I'm curious to see how they would actually do against the top competition in Richland County. I believe they do have Ontario on the schedule. Don't think that they play Lexington, but I feel like this team is competitive enough, and they have good enough soccer players and athletes that those would be some contests, unlike the previous couple of seasons where they were mismatches.
Yeah, they got some dudes on the roster, does Mansfield Christian. They're very athletic too, and they play the corner kick very well too. They got guys in there that are not afraid to use their head. We've seen Isaac McFadden against Clear Fork. He had 2 headers to go in the back of the net. So Mansfield Christian, I think, against some top competition, not only just be competitive, I think they have a shot to go in and win some of those matches. So Mansfield Christian, one of the better schools in the area in boys soccer, and that's why they got the 3-0 lead here over the Crestview Cougars.
And on the other side for Crestview, just their second season back to action after a 12-year layoff, did win 3 matches a season ago, their first one as mentioned in over a decade. They lost to Mansfield Christian when they matched up in conference play 4-1, so they did sneak one in to the back of the net in that match, G, and we talked about it a little bit during the first 40 minutes, that just getting something into the net for them, I think, would be somewhat of a moral victory for them, because it's been 3 straight matches, no goals, and that's where a lot of the joy of soccer comes from. Granted, if you play on defense, make it a big clean sweep, nice tackle or something, those are the plays that you're looking for. But as far as like full team camaraderie, everyone jumping up off the bench, your fans and everything, when you've gone this many halves of soccer and not been able to sneak one in, it's going to be a delight. We're probably going to hear a mini uproar here in Olivesburg if they are able to score tonight.
Yeah, I think the play in soccer that you can get the most momentum off of and have the biggest, pendulum swing for momentum would be, a breakaway and a one-on-one with the keeper, and you're able to attack and win that battle and get a, goal on the scoreboard. But so far, Crestview, they've had probably a handful of opportunities on the break, but just nothing able to go. They've overran a couple balls, and it's also been great defense for Mansfield Christian in all reality. And so far, it's been all Flames here tonight, and I'm sure in the second half could be some adjustments from the Cougars, but I think the Flames are the favorites here to walk out here with the victor.
Well, they are, but under a full moon, anything can happen. Gee, spooky season starting to set into in America. It definitely has in my house, where there's Halloween decorations all over every floor, so I'm definitely in the trick-or-treat spirit already. We'll see if there are any treats to be had for the Cougars here in half number 2. They will have the opening touch here at Scott Bailey Memorial on just a beautiful night here in the outskirts of Ashland. G-Man's old stomping grounds, as well as our camera guy, Storm. And it's got to be, well, I guess I'll just let you answer. How is it getting to come back here to the place where you went to school and you competed for so many years, and now being in a position where you're in the media and you're talking about what these kids are doing, when it wasn't that long ago, just, 3 short years?
3 or 4 years.
It was actually you out there competing.
It's a bit surreal because obviously some of the players, I think last year was the last year where some of the players that I played with were the seniors. So like my senior year, Connor Morris was a freshman, so like I knew him, and we got pretty close as just a football team, just sharing moments together and being friends. But it's a bit different because I'm so used to not being able to like talk to Coach Haverdale in a manner that isn't outside of like football. And so like now I can actually just kind of have a conversation with him and kind of just talk about life, and that goes in general about really any coach in the area. But some of these guys, Coach Keener I had as a coach, and it's just it's a bit different to be able to talk to them and kind of be an adult about it. It's because being a kid and being a high school athlete, it's kind of just all football. But sometimes take a step back in the media now as I'm a little bit older, and just gotta get to talk to me about life. It's a bit different and it's fun, and it's a pleasure to come out here and see that my old school. And it doesn't hurt. The football team is undefeated and a very good team, and really all sports around have been great, and really all sports. Girls basketball has been great. Boys basketball is on the up and up. Now I got the boys soccer team going too. So Crestview, the athletics, they got them on lock out here.
Yeah, it's the spot to be amongst the cornfields, no question about it. A lot of action going down here at Crestview High School with their athletics. And I think that we have more Crestview live streams than any other team on our schedule for the full duration of fall sports. So if you're a fan of the Cougars, we've got plenty of them, including tomorrow night. Be right back here. G-Man on the call against Western Reserve. Football team looking to go 4-0. As that's a nice big clean sweep there to get that ball out of enemy territory from Ty Callahan. Like what we saw from Crestview the first 2 minutes here of the second half, G-Man, where they actually brought it down and they kept the ball in the attacking third a little bit.
They've had chances, and they've had a couple good looks. So that's at least something to build out of if you're not able to get a score here for Crestview. But I'll look to them maybe as the clock continues to tick and get closer to that final buzzer, just maybe be a little bit more aggressive, take a little bit more chances, take a little bit more gambles. I talked about there's really nothing to lose as Mansfield Christian. They're going to line up a shot. But that's going to be far to left. I'll go out of bounds, and Should be a goal kick.
Josiah Carmen teeing it up. Big boot drifting here near side, taken out of the air by Grady Baker. Good looking pass in traffic that time to Everett Martin, who skips his way out of trouble. Sets up this shot from distance. And that one's going to go wide for Mansfield Christian, their first shot in half number 2.
Good shot right there from Anthony Smith. Just not enough accuracy there. Is Mansfield Christian, their first shot of the half was a good one. Just not able to make it fall into the back of the net there and be a goal kick for Crestview.
Couple of nice looking passes there in traffic for Mansfield Christian. It'll result in a corner kick opportunity. And I just like the communication that we've seen from the Flames. They've had a lot of nice build-ups, very similar to that here tonight. Hoovler drives it in near posts. Knocked out of there by Crestview.
So far here, Brian, early in the season, we've covered a couple soccer matches, I would say. Is there any team, Brian, that you've seen that you think you can definitely like hang your hat on that is the best team that you saw, or best team in the area, I should say? Not even that you've saw, just is there a definite answer for boys and girls?
I have not seen Ontario girls. I hear that that is the team to beat in our area with their stunning freshmen stepping up and playing as well as they have. And I saw a tweet from Team USA Soccer, and this only goes for like 25 kids in the high school age range, and they identified one of the freshmen on Ontario on the team. The only other player that I am aware of that's ever had that designation in our area is Taylor Huff. Look what she's doing now. Right. So that gets the hair kind of standing up on my arms, thinking about the future for that young lady. So I would think them, and I don't, matter of fact, I'll just go on record. We don't have a boys team that's dominant this season. We saw Lexington just lose to Ashland the other night. We thought perhaps it could be them. Ontario's got a big matchup coming up where they're going to get to tango with Bay. So we'll learn a lot about these teams. The head-to-head for Lexington and Ontario went to the Minutemen, but we don't have a juggernaut this season like we did last year with the Lexington, with one of the best defensive teams ever, maybe the best defensive team in the history of Richland County for a boys team. That does not exist in 2022, in my opinion.
I got to see Ontario versus, I believe, Ashland. That was a couple weeks ago. I believe that's the only time I got to see them, and they were dominant. And Addie Pittman, she had a hand in the cookie jar, Brian. She had a couple goals that night, and I think they won that one. It was 12-1. I mean, it was like 8-0 at half. It was over before even the halftime break, and I thought that one would be a little bit closer. I thought Ontario would pull it out, but I thought it'd still be a little bit closer on the scoreboard. And I really, even just the first game they played against Mansfield Christian, I thought the score was a little bit stunning, 13-1. Is that one's going to be punted out of the back of the end zone. That would have been for 3 if we were playing tomorrow night, but
I think that did split the uprights that time from Washitsky. But tipped or deflected, evidently, as it's going to be second corner kick opportunity here in the second half for MC, and it's kind of the same looking ball. Really low driven in there from Hoovler, who gets another shot at it, but deflected out by the Cougars. Well done. Take another look at the replay, courtesy of Maumee Bay Turf Center. As we've got a foul that's going to go against MC. Cougars were trying to initiate a break, and Trent Weaver got knocked down to the turf. So an opportunity here to flip the field, get some numbers forward, try to create some type of offense. Crestview without a shot so far here in these first 8 minutes. And just 1 to their name so far for the match. Here's a chance right here. And it's going to be deflected out of bounds, so at least a set piece will result from it for the Cougars.
Good opportunity here for Crestview. Haven't had many chances this year to work on their corner kicks. Here's a chance here to work on a set, see if they get something to go, so take it back to the drawing board at practice.
Ball kind of sailed a little bit out to the top of the 6. Mansfield Christian was able to head it out of there. And now here's the Flames on the counterattack. Blistering one down, deep into the corner. Deep run coming for Everett Martin. But Carmine gets there first. More pretty ball movement here for the Flames. Hoovler tried to go through the 5-hole. Andrew Spoor wasn't going to get punked. He does draw the whistle, though, and I tend to agree with him that it definitely looked like Hoovler kind of went into him, initiating the contact. And the referee, okay, he agrees.
Hate to be a little biased here, Brian, but I think Crestview, they might have the new best facility in the area. Field, lights, everything new out here, so putting their hat in the name. A couple years ago, back when I was playing, it was just some grass and some dirt. So
yeah, a lot of upgrades. Now, the students out here, are they putting them behind the end zone now?
They're back in the end zone.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that makes for a much better atmosphere, certainly for the students who want to be standing the whole game anyways.
Right. Yeah, they weren't, when I played, they weren't back there. They were by the band. Sometimes they stood on the track right behind us. It's kind of a weird things I could never see over top of us, but
yeah, it's a tough spot to be,
right?
Especially for some freshman girl coming to her first game who's like 5'2". Back and forth we go. That one volleyed. A lot of headers going down right now. And last touch by Cole Eichelberger out of bounds on the far side, so Mansfield Christian gets possession back. 29 minutes to go here in the match. Flames with a 3-0 advantage. No scoring here in half number 2 up to this point. And the battle for possession won here by the Cougars, looking for some options. That one's going to be threaded in. The one-timer to the keeper. Callahan got set up nicely, but he hit that more like with the inside of his foot like you would have passed instead of driving it with the toe with some pace. Nice diving save as well made by Griffin Baker.
I think that was the great time to take that shot. I think if he would have maybe took another touch right there, would have been broken up, would have been stolen, deflected by the defender. But as you mentioned, looked like that was with the inside of the foot and not the tip. Put a little bit more power behind it right there. Maybe even aim it to one of the corners. Keep it low at the same time, but make the goalkeeper, stretch out. Use all of its frame to try to block that one.
Sophomore Callahan, though, starting to turn up his usage rate as that's just a bit offside for Zerby, who was trying to create a one-man break. He was about a half step off, if not, could have been a one-on-one opportunity, looking for his second of the night. Mansfield Christian on the season, they've had a lot of different guys score goals. They don't really have too many, or anybody really, that's like an Abby Little as the girl squad has 10 goals now. A lot of guys just with like 1 and 2 goals on the season, sharing the wealth a lot. And I think it's kind of unique sometimes when that's the case, where you don't really have a dominant guy that you can look for in the attacking third, where it's just a collective effort. Almost makes you harder to defend.
And we've seen them against Clear Fork. They like to, use their substitutions to their advantage, get other guys in and rotate guys and keep guys fresh. So having that ability to have, some younger classmen step in and score some goals, I think that takes a lot of pressure off the older guys too, because, it allows them to be a little more relaxed and be confident and comfortable with those younger guys coming into the game to be able to help them out and stay under control, but at the same time still have great chemistry.
Devin Holloway with a look over to the bench with perhaps a bit of confusion or frustration. Slippage there on the back line could allow for Mansfield Christian to get a scoring opportunity. Flames sticking with it. Flicked into the box. Here's Zerby waiting for it. Blisters it backside. But it's just off target, about a foot wide of that far post.
Mansfield Christian not taking their foot off the gas here. Still trying to get a couple more goals. There's that shot from Zerby. Used to seeing him utilize his cannon of an arm on the sidelines, but this time using the leg to his advantage, but not able to capitalize and get Mansfield Christian's 4th goal of the night.
Almost 15 minutes here into the second half. Only 4 shots for Mansfield Christian up to this point. Crestview's got a couple. 3 total for the match, 2 of them on frame. But the Flames trying to hold serve, looking for their 4th shutout of the season. Been pretty impressed with this Cougars defense as well.
Even though they're not, getting the offensive opportunities that you would like and being super aggressive, when they get the ball in their hands. The defense has at least been pretty solid here tonight. Only 3 goals for the Flames. You got to credit the goalkeeper for Crestview, Josiah Carmine. Getting it done back there. Having at least a solid night, something you can watch and try to get better at. But even with some of the Mansfield Christian guys who have sat out, only one that we know would be Isaac McFadden. He's been holding strong back there for the Cougars.
Great ball on the money. Zerby turns back outside. Now in. Sets his feet in this one just off target. So you see Luke, such an exciting player. Such a broad skill set. Definitely more than just a dude that can throw it 100 feet with one toss. And just a junior as well, so more time to develop for Mr. Zerby.
I wonder if that's something that they really practice, is that throw in, because I think it can be a little undervalued at times. But Mansfield Christian, they obviously they took notes and they care about it. That's something they can use to build off of and use it as a set. And almost even as a corner kick at times, Zerby was throwing it all the way up into the boxes. I mean, that one right there, that was a huge throw, too, from Everett.
We're going to get the 3rd corner kick opportunity of the second half for MC. And again, they're going to put it at the right foot of Max Hoovler. Sophomore has been really driving him in. This time he sends it back post, and he finds a head, and it's cashed in. Beautiful aerial display. Goal number 3 for MC comes from Grady Baker, his 2nd.
His 2nd of the night. He was the first one to get a goal tonight, and now another one. This time coming off the header. Beautiful placement, too, and great setup from Hoovler. They made that look a little too easy, Brian.
You can definitely tell that they practice their corner kicks. As the couple of matches that we've had an opportunity to see Mansfield Christian, this is one area of the game where they're very deadly.
Yeah, we've seen Isaac McFadden against Clear Fork. He had 2 of those things. So throwing the ball in and headers, they're not afraid to capitalize on 2 of those moves in the game.
MC back at it again. Tristan Johnson Had he been able to contort his body in midair, maybe could have had an opportunity to one-time this thing, but that's just a tough ball on the run, 2 defenders around him, and instead it'll lead to a goal kick for Crestview.
Kind of like in baseball when you get a bad hop there on the pass. Just wasn't able to really get his foot on it. As we mentioned in the first game when Mansfield Christian was able, the ladies were able to score their first goal. Didn't think maybe they could get a couple there after that. I think Crestview fans are pleading for a handball. But they're not going to get it.
Mansfield Christian got something building here. 6 guys now up on offense. And that's deflected out of bounds. Wyszynski going to get a shot at the throw-in.
Over under 20 yards here, Brian.
Well, when Luke's not throwing it in, it definitely changes the whole dynamic of the throw.
Yep.
It doesn't become like when I was growing up. I remember there was only a couple of things that every time it happened, like you really took notice. It was Deion Sanders on a punt return, Barry Bonds when he would come up to bat for a couple of seasons. When Luke Zerbe throws it in, you're making sure that you're watching because you want to see, A, how far is that thing going to go, and how about the accuracy? I mean, he's definitely he's right on pinpoint Patrick Mahomes' target when he sings him in there, and this one almost resulted in a goal. Wow, what a save.
Yeah, what a heads-up play from Josiah back there because it got deflected. Not sure if it was by a Crestview defender. I think it was.
Oh, it was. Well, no, it looked like it went off a Mansfield Christian player who was laying on the ground. We're going to get a slower replay, I think. Our director just gave me a 1 second, but instead we got this back post and off the upright. So not quite the same execution as Hoovler was able to come through with on the previous corner. And it looks like that's actually...
So I think it hit Grady Baker right in the leg, which redirected the ball. So heads-up play from the keeper, but here Crestview trying to fight for an opportunity. A lot of physicality right there.
Yeah, here's another look. And clearly I think the right call there on Everroad, who just completely stopped right in the tracks to try to slow down the Crestview player, but they're going to blow this dead actually against the Cougars. And I was going to say I disagree with the call, but they're going to change it, and I think they're getting it right.
So maybe got that tapped in to the Always Report. Brian heard you. Little grievances about the call. Decided, let's change it.
Saw the Maumee Bay turf replay and was like, okay. Yeah, and sometimes, you know, you was talking to me in the earlier match, the fact that I got thrown into the fire and I was a referee on Tuesday night for, I mean, little kids. But at the same time,
it's still a big-time game. And
it felt that way. Oh, speaking of big-time games, another nice play there by Carmine. He's having an excellent, excellent night. But I was going to say, as an official, I do think that there's got to be a human element where you're swayed at times just by the chitter-chatter that's up in the stands. Sometimes you'll hear an overly aggressive fan, or multiple of them all have some bitter grievances with what you've just called out there. And I think that, you know, there's got to be a proclivity sometimes just to be a human and be like, yeah, okay, if that many people are mad, maybe I didn't see it right.
Yeah, I think especially when you get the gasp and the, oh, come on now. I think it's, you know what, maybe let's redirect. Let's change it. Let's change the call here, because here's, I believe, Zerbe on the throw-in, and that one just going to go over the top from Everroad. A little bit too much on the header there. Of course, Luke Zerbe throwing it in.
Ridiculous.
About 30 yards deep, too, and a perfect placement for the header opportunity for Everroad.
You see the big smile, too, on Kale's face. Just absurd that they can target that play from deep in the corner. It just looks like a corner kick. Johnson draws a couple defenders, can't will his way around him. Now here's Luke. Going to shift it into the box. Set up here. And a big shot sails wide from Weston Neal. But Mansfield Christian, I feel like they're starting to find a nice flow. They've got the flow state going on a little bit here offensively where they're kind of routinely getting the ball into compromising positions for the Crestview defense.
I thought Crestview played pretty well in the first half, other than, of course, the 3 goals that were scored by the Flames. But for a new program starting up, I thought they handled it pretty soundly. Here in the second half, though, I feel like the possession is more swinging towards the Flames. They've had it down here for, feels like, the last 10 minutes. And they've had a couple shots. One was able to fall in on the header from the corner kick, but this time they're struggling to get it in here in the last couple of possessions. But they're going to continue to shoot their shot, see if they can get this and make this a 5-point game. 5-point match, I should say. Getting the lingo down.
Attaboy. Starting to come over to the soccer side of things, G-Man. It only took you 3 matches this year. Or actually, you've been on, what, 4? 4 calls?
Crestview, Cloverleaf. I was with you for 2 Mansfield Christian games. I've seen Mansfield Christian the most so far this season.
Me as well. So I need to get out there and see a wider variety and scope of teams to really start making my clarification about who's the top of the heap. Jesse Ryder has been too busy lately. I've desperately been trying to get him in for his top 5 boys and girls teams in the area. But, I mean, the man is run ragged at his day job. He does so much. And then, I wasn't joking, I think he's roughly about 30 teams that he coaches. I mean, that might be slightly too many, but he helps out in a lot of different ways. So I do want to dive inside his mind. He knows more about area soccer than anybody. It is truly amazing to go out to a match and just ask him off air, like, well, what's the scouting report on these guys? Well, I talked to this so-and-so's dad. I coached him. Like, he's got some type of nugget or information about every player on the field, no matter what game it is. So I always default my opinion to whatever Jesse thinks, and I'm going to go with that.
It's not a bad route to take, Brian. I'm going to talk to Jesse Ryder and coach me up on some of the lingo and get me going here, since the terminology even put me to work. Maybe a little homework test.
You know, what might be fun, we'll bring him in if he can join on the podcast or something soon and just do maybe like 20 minutes worth of, hey, this is Soccer 101. These are cool terms to really hip up your game. As that one gets headed out of there by the Cougars, but MC sticking with it. Just outside Baker wanted that hat trick. Not going to happen.
Trying to make sure he solidifies his spot as the OH Report MVP, Brian.
He's definitely in the mix. Yeah. We love hearing from the fans, though. You got to let us know. Chime in with some comments about who should join us for a post-match interview. Bring that player up here into the box and get to hear their thoughts about the match. There he is again, man. Grady going for it. He's the top horse right now, I think, out of the barn for me.
It's hard to disagree with that, Brian. 2 goals on the night here for Baker. Trying to get a third. Wouldn't be surprised if he's able to accomplish that. Still about 13 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the half.
And while for Mansfield Christian, 8 of their 13 shots here in the second half have not been on target. Unlike the ladies in the previous game where we saw them sitting back on a lot of shots and they were just drilling them 20 yards well over the post, these Flames are keeping them low. They're on the ground, and they've been off just about a foot or 2 on most of their attempts. Just a much more dangerous ball when it comes in that way.
Especially being so close, too. They haven't took a lot of shots that is far out from the goal. They've been, right in the goalie's face. They've had a couple of opportunities, and here's another one. It's tremendous crossover right there, and he's going to be a shot, Brian.
Coast to coast, broken up at the last minute. Nil was trying to make that all the way from one end to the other, but Tyler Holloway, the youngster, came in at a critical moment, was able to shut it down.
Look at this crossover, too.
Whoop. Right in stride. Corner kick opportunity is going to be punched out of the way. A lot of corners, all at this end here in the second half for Mansfield Christian as well.
You got to tip your cap to Josiah Carmine for Crestview. The sophomore out there, giving it all he can, all he's got right now. Mansfield Christian has had so many opportunities to try to make this a game even worse than what it's been. 4-0 here in favor of the Flames, but he's at least kept Crestview, afloat here in the second half with only 11:30 remaining.
No Zerby in the mix, so it'll be Kel Everroad who throws it in. More of a line driver, was able to sneak through underneath a couple of players. Now Crestview just looking to clear it, try to send it up top and allow Tyler Majors to run under, but the Flames, other ideas until there. Carmine comes through, scoops it up, and quickly gets it out of his hands.
You've been closer to the soccer pitch, Brian, than I have over the past couple of seasons and years. What would you think would be the hardest position in soccer to play? You got an opinion on that?
The hardest position to play physically in terms of endurance, as we almost got a three-piece header in. That would have been something. I got to see a replay on this. Bump. Bump. Oh. Yeah, I think the center mid is typically the position that you put the most on your shoulders. You're not really ever stopping. There's no breaks like you would get if you're a forward or if you're on that back line defender. However, I do truly feel like goalkeeper is probably the most challenging position because you're in charge of so much. You're barking out orders all the time, and you're the GOAT, man, in terms of being the scapegoat if things don't go well. You gotta... If you have a huge match, even though a team has a great offensive performance, you can still shut them down if you play well. So I think the biggest game-changing position is in between the pipes. That would be my pick. But you said hardest. I think that's the most impact player. So I guess I'll go with the center mid. Center mid's probably the hardest position to play in soccer because there's just so much on your shoulders, and you're probably running. I'd love to put a Fitbit or an Apple Watch on one of those guys. It's got to be miles and miles and miles, probably darn near a half marathon.
Now, how do you think you'd be able to fare, Brian, in between the pipes?
Well, I actually soccer was my one natural sport that I played that I really liked, and I was a goal-scoring machine as a young player, but then when I got into 6th grade and I started playing on travel teams, they put me at goalie, and it was my favorite position. It was tough because we didn't play on very good teams, and I got a lot of shots put at me. But I definitely think that I'm just not that scared of contact or the ball flying at my face or anything, so I think I'd do okay. We're going to find out, though, because I've talked to a couple of coaches, and we've decided at some point we do need to get put we were talking to Chris Laux, actually, yesterday. So for the All-Star game, we are going to play goalie against the top players in the area, and we'll find out. We'll see if I still got the goods or if I'm way over the hill at this point. But Zach Huff the other day, too, I seen him at the Madison-Mansfield game. And we were talking about, we saw this great viral video of these moms that got to tackle their players.
That. Yeah.
It's awesome. And then I asked him about, well, Coach, why don't you have some of the parents come in and field some goals? And he was like, well, how about the OH report team? Let's get G-Man and the boys out here for another challenge. And I was like, we haven't done one in a while. I probably should.
I never played soccer. But I feel like if I had any chance to be decent, I think it would be goalkeeper. I'm obviously not keeping up out on the field.
Well, you could be like a center defender in the back, and sometimes it's just a big, broad, brute guy that it's just hard to get around.
I mean, I do take up probably multiple yards, so at least like 3 or 4 yards that you got to cover when you got to get around me. So
that matters. Cougars with the takeaway, not giving up that spirit. They just want to get one on the board, man. I'd at least like to see them get a clean shot on frame over these last 7 minutes to go home with a story to tell.
Something to go back and, tell the boys tomorrow before their football game.
Hey, that was 4-0, but you should have seen. Matter of fact, you
Right.
can if you go back on the OH Report stream and check this out. Got any comments coming through for the MVP voting?
Let me tally.
My producer's making jokes over here at me, so evidently the fan zone isn't coming through for us tonight. Looks like me and G-Man are going to have all that pressure and weight on our shoulders of determining who is going to be the game MVP. I think obviously there's a strong case to be made for Baker. Zerby is just so exciting. I mean, he almost scored 3-4 times tonight. Did actually connect on one. I mean, it's a Crestview game. I think that Josiah Carmine actually had a really nice night.
Yeah. Now I'm getting a couple jokes thrown at me from the AD up here. Oh, it's a kid from
I know exactly what he's
Sandlot.
talking about. Yeah, the big green. Johnson sends it into the box, headed out of there. Flames are waiting for it. And that's an easy one there for Josiah. Less than 5 minutes to go here at Scott Bailey Memorial. Cougars and Flames meeting for the second straight season. MC appears to be headed on their way to 2-0 in this new conference rivalry renewed. As Neal can't sneak that one by. Josiah got back. Almost had to make another clean save. I mean, this dude's been active. He's getting his time worth out there tonight.
He's kept this a 4-0 game. And he was there to save that, too, if the Crestview defender wasn't there to kind of save his back there. But he would have been back there for the save, too. So 2 saves on that possession alone for Josiah Carmine, the sophomore.
Got him down unofficially for a dozen so far tonight. And a big kick taken out of the air by Everode. And strong run here down the far sideline made by Cole Eckelberger. Cougars with a nice flick forward. Again, still got the engine revving, man. I do love the spirit when they're at least getting close to the attacking third. You can tell how bad they at least want to get a nice shot. And that's always the case for teams this late in the game when you're losing. So I do love how much the Cougars are still competing at the highest level.
The effort really tonight hasn't been in question at all for Crestview. I haven't had the best night in terms of scoring the ball, but they've had a great night in terms of effort and giving it their all. And none of them have been hanging their head either. After a goal, they communicate a little bit, talk about it, try to see what they can fix, and then they try to move on. But so far, it's just Mansfield Christian is just outmatched Crestview here tonight. And a new program, talked about it multiple times here tonight for Crestview. it's going to take a bit to get back to the winning ways and the winning culture. It takes time to build that.
Going to see yet another Flames corner kick from this exact side. Their 7th. Or excuse me. It's a throw-in. It just feels like a corner kick when that kid tosses it.
I honestly thought it was a corner, Brian. Kind of hard seeing out of the press box here, so I kind of been watching the monitor. I actually thought it was a corner kick, but it was just another Zerby throw.
So this will be corner kick number 7. Be set up near side. Johnson lobs it. And too tall. $18 shots in the second half for Mansfield Christian. And I think through the first 10 minutes, they only had like 2 or 3. They found their groove eventually about, I'd say, between 10 and 15 minutes here into the second half. And while they've dominated time of possession and total setups, haven't been able to drill but 1 goal.
The credit that goes to Crestview's goalkeeper and Josiah Carmine. He's been active tonight, to say the least. The dude's been all over the place, and somehow, kind of like the first match when Matty Mack had been saving the ball a lot. There's going to be a shot towards the net, but that one will sail over. As Matt kind of kept that game closer than really what it should have been. Kind of the same story here. Mansfield Christian only up 4-0. Could be 6-0, 7-0, but Carmine back there able to hang tough between the pipes there.
Just 65 seconds to go. Carmine dishing out another big punt. And Cougars obviously starting to run out of time. They're looking to get quality shot on net. Not sure if they're going to get that opportunity. With time milking away. But the Flames might right here. Blasted. But one of the best saves of the night by Josiah.
I mean, this dude has been phenomenal back here. And this is just a one-on-one. There's no Crestview defender in sight, too. And Josiah Carmine able to make the save, but just too much tonight from the Flames as they pick this one up 4-0 over the Cougars.
That'll end the contest, but we still got plenty more to come. Stick around for our Sutton Bank postgame that will include an interview with our player of the match, along with some final stats, analysis, and more. Keep it here. It's live and free, and it's only on the OH Report.
Dear moms and dads, we know it's not always been easy, and it's been a lot of hard work.
Tell me it's It's not worth trying.
What you have achieved here today is going to help us and our
Can't
futures.
tell me it's not worth trying.
It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
Everything I do it for you.
Mom, love you always.
No, it's true. Everything I do it for
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Kissel's Lawncare. There's no job too big or too small for us to handle. With top-of-the-line equipment, we are guaranteed to complete your next landscaping job efficiently and professionally. A hard-working, dedicated team is what we take pride in, bringing to every job to make sure the results are the best they can be. So the next time you have a landscaping project that needs done, think smart and think Kissel.
Park National Bank treats your dreams like they're our own. It could be buying your first home together, or making a lasting impact in your community, starting a new business on your old stomping grounds, or reimagining your current one to keep up with the times. No matter your financial goals, at Park National Bank, what means a lot to you means a lot to us.
I know that I'm not Park's biggest customer, but I'm treated just like I'm Park's biggest customer.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Back now with our player of the match presented by Kissel's Lawncare, and it is none other than the stud, outstanding sophomore Grady Baker. 2 big goals for you tonight, buddy, and you guys really got into a nice offensive flow in the second half. I want to start there. It felt like you were very routinely getting into the attacking third and kind of getting any look that you wanted. What did that flow state feel like out on the field being a part of it?
I mean, we played really well. We possessed really well. I kind of came out slow in the second half, tried to push forward a little bit harder. I don't know. We did really well at finishing, just right place, right time.
And then we got to go through those 2 goals. Let's begin with the first one of the match. Just about 10 minutes in, it was pretty cool. I would kind of liken it to like some type of like a karate kick. You came flying in and smashed that thing out of the air. Describe it to me through your eyes.
So basically, Zerby went up the right side, and I like when wings go up, like crash in the box, and then 18, outside the 18, there's a lot of space right there, so I kind of filled that gap, and he put it right there. Just finished it.
You were also responsible for the only goal in the second half. What do you remember about that one?
I didn't really get marked, but I just kind of came in the box and backside. It went far over, so I kind of had to like chase it, kind of put it over. Weston almost finished it secondly, but it was good.
So for you guys, you're 6-2 overall now. Your only 2 losses are to ranked teams in Division III, some really quality competition. This is your 4th shutout now of the season. Does it feel like Mansfield Christian soccer is back to getting to that level of dominance that we came to know and love for those early, 2010 through about 2018 run?
I don't know. I want to get there, but our team's working hard, and I think we can get there, but we'll see. Maybe next year. This year's looking better, but I think we're going to gradually get better, and maybe next year will be decent.
In your opinion, what has been the biggest stepping stone where you guys have taken to get better from last year where you won 9 games to this year where you're already almost at that total and we're not even at the midway point?
It's a lot of confidence level because we were a lot of freshmen, a lot of young kids on the team, getting older, getting more confidence, better finishing, more possession, more confident with the ball.
Yeah, I would certainly include you in that mix now as a sophomore, making big-time contributions. And basically the entire team seems like they've gotten in the scoring column at some point in the season. How fun is it to spread the wealth and have everybody get a little taste in being a part of the offensive action?
I mean, we spread the ball pretty well. Scoring, we don't really have like a main scorer. The whole team kind of scores. Like we normally have like guys with like 3-4 goals through the year, and we spread that out pretty well. So it's not like one main guy. We kind of do well with spreading the ball.
So tell me about some of the preseason goals and if they've changed now that you guys are off to a 6-2 start. Do you feel like the bar has been raised at this point, or did you have high expectations all along?
I mean, I wanted to come into this year scoring a little bit more. These are actually my first 2 goals of the year, but I thank my team for that because we possessed really well and we did really well against these guys. But I think Crestview, because they've played a hard match, did really well.
Well, congratulations for getting into the scoring column for the first time this season. If anybody's out there that is watching that you would like to give some love to, send out a shout-out right here and now.
I don't know. My family, grandparents, thank them.
Always a good choice to throw some love to the grandparents. Grady Baker, our Kissel's Lawn Care MVP. Really appreciate the time, man. Go celebrate.
Sir, thank you.
No problem. All right, see that guy right there with the big melon? That's G-Man. He's going to put on the headset. And we did get a great G-Man comparison from one AD, Timmy Kuhn, here at Crestview. This is what we're looking at. That's Garrett, of course, on the left in all of his glory with the camera and looking like super cool. Very fly, actually. Got the flannel underneath. And then on the right side, I don't actually know the actor's name, but this is from The Green?
The Big Green.
The Big Green, that's right. And he was the goalie. So, G-Man, you feel like that could be your most natural position. You kind of look like this guy. It may be some kind of a reincarnate. I think it could be fun. to see you out there and try it. And this guy's name is Patrick Renna, who we feel like you resemble a little bit. What do you think about you hopping up there, being in the goal, and how it's going to go?
Well, I kind of put the niche of I got the best hands in the area in Richland County. So I think if I'm playing soccer, I got to do one of the positions that involves me using my hands, and I think goalie would be the best position because I have no endurance to do whatever else they do in the field. No defense. I can't attack. I don't know how my kicking game is. So I think if I gotta play a position out there on the pitch, it's got to be between the pipes back there and playing goalkeeper. I think that's my best sport, my best shot at it.
Well, I certainly think that we're going to make that happen here in the near future. Garret, Sandlot, Parlett. We feel like it's just the same guy out there. Who's who, we can't really tell. All right, another guy that used his hands very well tonight, Josiah Carmine. He had a lot of saves out there in the goal for Crestview. Let's go ahead and bring up the final stats of the night presented by Sutton Bank. And 27 total shots, G-Man. Just 3 for Crestview tonight. It was truly a dominating performance by a Flame squad that they're brimming with confidence. You heard it there from Grady Baker. He just feels like the level of expectation has risen because everybody felt like they were a better player coming into this season. They proved it here tonight.
You can tell they take it seriously and they grind in the offseason. And Mansfield Christian, from the boys teams I've seen so far, they're the best team that I've seen. And I know I've only covered a handful of boys soccer matches, but I think without a doubt I can say that they're the best team that I've seen. They played a Crestview team tonight that was just a bit overmatched, but I think it was great for Crestview as a barometer to stack up against teams that that are in their conference, that they're going to have to later play in a couple years where it might be more of an even matchup. But tonight it was all Mansfield Christian. I think the score could have been even worse than what it was. It was only 4-0, and Josiah Carmine, he was stout back there stopping goals for Crestview. So I think it could have been maybe even 5-6-0, but Mansfield Christian able to get it done here on the road and pick up their 6th win of the year.
Yeah, 16 shots on net tonight for the Flames, and many of those 27 were just off target. Wasn't like they were getting bad looks. Crestview, on the other hand, offense, it's been a challenge for them all season. They've only scored in 1 of their 6 matches. They did net a couple of goals against Willard. 4 straight shutout defeats for them, G-Man, but at the same time, I say that, and I don't feel that bad about how they played walking out of here tonight. I do feel like certainly the intensity was there throughout the entire match, and there were opportunities for them moving into the attacking third, but Mansfield Christian, such a juggernaut of a defensive team, allowing just 0.7 goals per contest. It was a tough all-around matchup for this Cougars offensive unit.
We talked about it a couple times throughout the broadcast. The effort from Crestview was never lacking. Down on the scoreboard, it didn't matter. They were continuing to try as hard as they possibly can to try to get back in the game, try to get some goals. You can tell how bad they wanted to score a goal there at the end, just not able to do so against a Mansfield Christian team that, they can, hang their hat on the defensive end. They got a great goalkeeper themselves and a great defensive scheme that they run, but Mansfield Christian, they were just too much for Crestview tonight, and it showed out there on the field. But Mansfield Christian, they got a couple heavy games coming up, and for Crestview, they play Loudonville next. So a good barometer, knowing Mansfield Christian just came off playing them too. So I guess we'll see how they stack up against each other, but big win here for Mansfield Christian on the road against a Cougar squad that's up and coming, a new program that we'll see this matchup here in a couple years, Brian, and I'm sure it'll be a little bit more evened out, a little more toe-to-toe.
Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage tonight here at Scott Bailey Memorial. Want to give one last shout out to all of our generous sponsors who helped make tonight's contest live and free to fans, including the Ashland-Wooster Drive-In. Stop in for fresh cut fries, some homemade root beer, and your favorite conies. Get sauced at the stand, and who doesn't want to get sauced, right? Maumee Bay Turf Center. At Maumee Bay Turf, it's simple. We build better. Sutton Bank. Earn the cash reward of your choice for doing simple activities with Kasasa. Kissel's Lawncare. You can contact Kissel's Lawncare for all of your snow plowing, spraying, painting, and lawn care needs. They truly do it all. And Cline Security. It is your locally owned and trusted security provider. For Adam Thompson, our amazing producer-director, our camera guy, Storm Blunchley, and my color guy, Garret Parlett, my name is Brian Skowronski, saying thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Tons of football on the way. We'll be there. You should too. So long for now.